Imagine waking up every single day to the sound of someone else's life echoing through thin walls. Not your family, not your friends, just strangers who now share your fridge, your bathroom, and sometimes even your peace of mind. You thought shared living would be fun, affordable, and full of stories. But months later, you're lying in bed wondering how something so ordinary could feel this heavy. Sarah was 28 when she moved into a 3-bedroom flat in Manchester. She had just started a new job and needed to save money fast. The listing looked perfect on paper. Clean, central location, friendly housemates. On the first day, she met her roommates. There was Mike, a 35-year-old IT guy who worked from home, and Priya, a 24-year-old international student who loved cooking late at night. Everyone smiled, shook hands, and promised to respect each other's space. But within the first week, small things started to chip away at the peace. Mike left his dirty dishes in the sink for days. Priya's curry smell would linger in the hallway until morning. Sarah found herself tiptoeing around her own home, afraid to make noise or ask for change. By the end of the first month, the tiny frustrations had grown into something deeper. Sarah would come home exhausted from work, only to find the kitchen counter covered in crumbs and the bin overflowing. She tried talking to them gently, but Mike would just nod and say he was busy, while Priya smiled and continued her midnight cooking sessions. The shared bathroom became a battlefield of wet towels on the floor and hair clogging the drain. Even simple things like using the washing machine turned into silent negotiations. Sarah started waking up earlier just to avoid the morning rush. She felt guilty for feeling angry over such small things, yet the resentment kept building inside her like a slow fire. Then there were the nights when sleep became impossible. Thin walls carried every sound. Mike's loud gaming sessions until 2 a.m., Priya's video calls with her family back home in loud Hindi, and the constant creaking of old floorboards whenever anyone walked. Sarah would lie in her small room staring at the ceiling, headphones on, trying to block it all out. She missed the quiet of living alone, even though she could barely afford it. At 30, she felt too old for this kind of chaos, yet too young to have her own place. The emotional weight surprised her. She had always thought roommate problems were just for college kids, but here she was, an adult, feeling lonely in a house full of people. Across the ocean in a small U.S. college town, David, a 42-year-old divorced man, faced a different version of the same story. After his marriage ended, money was tight, so he moved into a shared apartment with 2 younger roommates in their mid-20s. He hoped it would be temporary and practical. Instead, he quickly became the old guy in the house. His roommates blasted music late into the night, left pizza boxes everywhere, and invited friends over without asking. David tried to set boundaries, but they saw him as boring or uptight. He started eating dinner alone in his room just to avoid the mess in the kitchen. The loneliness hit harder than he expected. He had raised a family once, yet now he felt invisible in his own home. Even older people aren't spared from these silent struggles. Margaret, 61, moved into a shared senior-friendly apartment complex after losing her husband. She thought living with other mature adults would bring companionship, but reality was different. One roommate played the television at full volume every afternoon. Another left the shared lounge messy with knitting supplies and half-drunk cups of tea. Small disagreements over thermostat settings or grocery shopping turns turned into weeks of cold silence. Margaret would sit by the window in the evenings, missing the privacy she once took for granted. She realized that shared living doesn't magically disappear with age. The need for personal space and respect stays the same, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. These experiences connect us all, young students barely out of their teens, working adults in their 30s, and seniors starting new chapters. The dark side of shared living isn't dramatic screaming matches most of the time. It's the slow erosion of peace, the quiet resentment, and the surprising loneliness that creeps in when you're surrounded by others, yet still feel completely alone. So next time you see someone posting about their fun roommate adventures online, remember there's another side to the story, the one where tiny habits become emotional burdens, the one where you learn that sharing a roof doesn't always mean sharing understanding. If you've ever lived with roommates, whether you're 20 or 60, you probably know exactly what this feels like. The question is, how do we protect our peace without losing our kindness? Maybe the real skill isn't finding the perfect roommate, it's learning to live with imperfect ones while still holding on to our own sanity and heart. Thank you for listening to these real, raw stories of shared living. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below with your own roommate experience. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more honest stories about the lives we actually live.